I will explain the hot topics list to you first. They are all together 8 topics. Remember, nearly 95% will happen in your real exam. So the HKCA reminds you, remember to check other topics as well, but most of the topics will be in this hot topic list. So first of all, group them into a logical manner. Okay, what is your opinion? Okay, the reason I want to advise you, try to group them in order you understand them more easily. Especially the question when they set, they may be in section A, a case scenario. Okay, so they may group related topic together. So my initial guess is like that. 1 and 2 are related. Merger and acquisition. Some of the related issues are in the amalgamation of companies. So you may group them together. As long as you group them together, you may differentiate the difference so that you will not be trapped into wrong identification of the topic. So 1 and 2 can be studied together. And then 3, 5, 6 are related in profits tax. 3, 5, 6. Okay, what are they? Intellectual property and R&D activities. When they set profits tax treatment, be aware that this could be income side or expense side. So they may ask you the deduction of intellectual properties and R&D. They may also ask you the income of intellectual property or sale of R&D rights, etc. So you be aware of income and expense for these 2 items, IP and R&D. Then why they are related to 5? Because this is also under profits tax. Tax certainty. This is separate from advance ruling. This is related to traditionally, we will use badges of trade to determine whether this is capital assets or revenue assets. But there is some certainty enhancement scheme which is new. So you need to observe how this will help us to determine whether the gain on disposal is capital or revenue. And then source of profits. If they set the question like IP income, okay, then what will be the source determination? So 3, 5, 6 could be studied together. So 1 and 2 for companies merged together or amalgamation, group company merged together. And then 3, 5, 6 for profits tax, income or expense for IP and R&D, item 3. Certainty advance enhancement scheme for like badges of trade determination. Then source of profits for like IP income. You need to use DIPN 21 and 22. And then 4, 7, 8 are related to individual. 4 for China individual income tax. And then 7 and 8 for individual. 7 for PA, personal assessment, and then 8 for sales tax sums received. Okay, a brief explanation of the 8 items, how they are related and how they are grouped in order to memorize them. Any questions so far before I move on to review the first document past paper analysis? The reason I want to show you this is that you observe which is frequently examined topic. Okay, first idea, which is frequently examined topic. And you focus on hot topic, the hot topic, the 8 topic I have just mentioned. Okay, so for example, here we have sufficient questions and answer to practice. But you choose those frequently asked and related to hot topic. So now check against using, for example, 2005 June. We have been tested returns, offense, and penalties. This one. Okay, so you think about this. What is this topic? Returns, offense, and penalties. How this is related to the 8 hot topics I've just mentioned. For example, returned in your study, you refer to your mind map. I give you the mind map before in your class. You referred to your mind map, page 57. Okay, return is inside the mind map for administration. So that is related to obligation, or in technical work, compliance with the law. So you file the return, you keep the records, etc. Otherwise, non-compliance, you have offense and penalties. Okay, so think about this, how this is related to the 8 topics we have just mentioned. The real answer is related to the item 3. The reason is that tax certainty enhancement scheme, you just apply the law. So which one disposal gain is capital related or revenue related? This is not yet advanced ruling. If they ask you advanced ruling, they will specify advanced ruling in the hot topic. Okay, so why is it related to intellectual property? Intellectual property income, there is certain concession. Okay, if you want to have this concession, you need to make application. So the application procedure is related to administration. One more point is related to amalgamation. Okay, if a group company, they merge together, okay, or they buy and sell without the transfer of, without the sale. If that is the case, if you want to have some tax treatment, you need to make election. So the election is to like application, file the return, make the application in writing, etc. These will be related to administration. Can you see the point? Okay, that is the study method. You check the related topic, which is frequently tested, and think about how this is related to your hot topic. So I think for administration, that could be related to like the application, like in the amalgamation, or like the concessionary tax treatment of IP. Okay, then we move on to page 2 of your past paper analysis. In 2005 June, they test you scope of sales tax charge. Then you ask yourself, is it in the hot topic this time? No. Sales tax charge is different from profits tax. Okay, so in your hot topic, there's no sales tax charge. It only asks about sales tax treatment on sums received. They did not mention about scope of sales tax charge. Can you see the point? So when we see this one, scope of sales tax charge, they may ask you, but not necessarily the important topic. So you know the basic idea is enough. Then they will go on to test you in particular hot topic for sums received. So which one is the real hot topic this time for sales tax? Which is here. This one. Can you see the point? Lump sum receipts. All right. So if you want to focus more on the hot topics, you may check this past paper. So I can imagine what they will ask you in the real case. They set a simple scenario like a Hong Kong employment. Now terminate the staff. So you may mention the scope of sales tax charge a little bit, saying that this is Hong Kong source employment income is subject to sales tax, then move on to lump sum receipts. So similarly, expense and deduction may not be the sales tax charge issue. It will still require you to learn a little bit because you have personal assessment. In order to calculate the personal assessment, you may be given some expense deduction issue. So here, expense and deduction, especially concessionary deductions under sales tax, will apply to personal assessment as well. Okay? Then move on to page 3. Here is about profits tax. So the typical one, which is still inside in your hot topic this diet, is source of profits. So frequently asked. Okay, when they ask you the source of profits, you will discuss section 14 first. So briefly, you may be also asked about scope of profits tax charge. Because this time they put intellectual property into the hot topic. Intellectual property could be intellectual property income, like the royalty. If the royalty is received in Hong Kong, then you will test it by scope of sales tax charge section 14. And then source of profits, DIPN 21 and DIPN 22 for royalty. Okay, then deemed trading receipt, IP income, is for royalty income received by non-resident. So this one can be tested as well because IP is mentioned in your hot topic. Finally, this one, specific deductions may be tested because IP and R&D could be specific deductions. Can you see the point? Okay, so these 4 items are relevant to the hot topic for the current diet. Okay, this page is about computation. Clearly, PA is the hot topic. Okay, but if you want to calculate PA, you know the basic understanding of property tax computation, service tax computation, profit tax computation. Then finally, is stamp duty a hot topic? No. So what is your study method for stamp duty? Not necessarily the most important one. So if you have time, of course, you study stamp duty as well. However, if you don't have enough time, this is the lesser important included in the hot topic. Okay, then when we move on, what else will be the hot topic in your current diet? DTA. DTA could be hot topic, okay? Because in the hot topic, individual income tax, we may test individual income tax by DTA, DIPN 44. Okay, so this one could be. And then ethics, even though this is not in hot topic, what you have seen in the past paper analysis, every diet they will test you. So this again will be heavily studied. Okay, that is the explanation of how to use the past paper analysis. First of all, review those frequently examined topics and guess whether they are related to hot topic. And then select some of the sample to test yourself. Of course, you may use the mock exam because likely they will not repeat the similar facts and questions in your exam. Okay, any questions so far related to the first document past paper analysis?